Welcome to another edition of the Thriving Artist Art Life Short. I am Delta Tango Mike, and this is, tell them your name, Daniela, Daniela on Instagram. Rain Boom is her nickname. And we are here today to talk about another Thriving Artist Art Life resource and mindset, how to shift your mindset. The hashtag is Start Now 2020 because this is a year when you have to take one step at a time to get towards your goal. Whatever your goal is, whatever it is you're looking for to see in your future, then this is where you start working on it. Okay, so today I want to talk about one of my four thriving artists. What do you call it? Tips. That's what we're going to call it. All right. There's a name, but I forget what the name is. In any case, number one is, as we talked about it in the other day, was vision, goals, planning, and calendar. And as I explained not too long ago, when you're looking at these steps, I guess we'll call them steps. When you look at these steps, they're about setting you up for the next step in your creative career. But just like the example of the marathon, if you don't know where the finish line is, if you don't know the route, then you're just going to run around town and chasing people as you see them running one direction. You sit chasing people because you see them running around to another direction. So it's very important that we understand the first thing. What is your vision? So let me give you an example. Many years ago, about 10 or so, I started teaching Illustrator, Photoshop, and anything that I know how to do, right? So I share, and not just demos and tutorials, but actual classes. And so my classes, I try to make them engaging and funny. And then, of course, I like to talk and so on. So it's real easy for me to just start throwing out jokes. And so in the beginning of my classes, I always talk about myself and tell them a little bit about my background, what I do, and so on and so forth. And one of the things that I always say is that, listen, what I want as an artist is I just want a big warehouse, and this was a story that we'll tell. I want a warehouse somewhere that has an overhead door that every now and then a forklift brings in a pallet of paper, and then another door somewhere that another forklift brings in a pallet of markers and pencils, and they leave me alone. People leave me alone in here and let me draw all day. And ever so often, somebody should stop by and bring me some food. That was me talking in class, and little did I know that I was expressing and sharing my vision. That is the vision for myself. And so the more I said it, the more I believed it, the more I really saw it in my mind. As I kept telling that story, as many classes I teach, and I still sometimes say that in my classes, I would hear myself saying these words, but I would also think of what that image is. Like, what kind of warehouse would that be? What does it look like? Is it like a Batman warehouse, you know, where the Batmobile is in the underground? Or is it an old dusty warehouse? Is it like an airplane hangar warehouse? I don't know. My mind would just go into all these ideas. Quit trying to eat my unk. And so, so the more I told this story, one day, visiting one of my friends. He has a print shop here in Atlanta. He's been printing t-shirts since the 90s, and I've known him since 98, 99. His name is Velocity Screen Print. Go check him out. Been printing my t-shirts for a long time. It's one of those shirts. In any case, I was in his shop one day, and he had like 3 buildings at this point. Right now, the third building was really small, and it was only a couple offices in there. As I'm walking around inside his building, inside his office, as I'm walking out, because I already sat there and talked to him, I look at his desk and I said, look, if this was my office, I would turn that desk the other way, and I would do this and I would do that, and boom, you have more space. And of course, he didn't ask for this advice or anything. I was just happened to be there, and I saw it and I said it. His response was, well, if you want this space, you can have it. And I said, what do you mean? He says, yeah, I'm about to move out and remodel the other space so I can have room for the office, and I don't need this space now. And I was like, wait a minute. And so through the conversation, I ended up talking to the landlord, and I think it was like 5 years ago, we set up our studio, Azalea Creative. And as time went on, I realized this is my warehouse. I just got my warehouse. It was a lot of planning, a lot of goals that had to be met to get there, to make it, to get it, to rent it, and fill it in with things that I needed as a artist, as a working artist. But before I realized that we had this big space, we had an office, we had a warehouse site, and I'm standing inside the warehouse like, this is the warehouse. I just got my warehouse, and it had an overhead door. See, the vision that I set for myself and that I saw and that I kept speaking into existence eventually materialized. There's a lot to go with it, right? And that's where the other three parts that I'll talk about in a different video come into play. But the fact is that we have to have a vision for what we see in our future, for the type of careers that we want, for the type of life that we want to live. And it only comes through us, our desire, our wants, our passion, and us figuring out, well, what is it that you want? What does your life look like when you have it? What are you going to do in there? What is it that that you want to be able to accomplish once you have this space or this thing or this vision? So that's why number one is vision. Figuring out yourself, where you see yourself in the future, or what it is that you want. What is it that is going to help you live the life that you want? What are those things that you need around? Today, I don't have that warehouse, which is not a bad thing, because now my vision has continued to evolve. That I have other visions for what I want in my life, in my creative career. And right now I have an amazing office where I have all the things that I want, all the things that I need. And I do have a space for all my other paints and things that I use for my murals. In any case, it is a vision is always evolving. The better you get at figuring out what you want, the better you're going to see that vision. Then you can start working all the other three things that need to make that vision happen, which is goals. There has to be some goals met to get to that vision. There's a planning to reach those goals, and then your calendar. What are you going to do in your everyday life to make sure that you can have time in your day to work on those plans, to reach those goals so that you can live your vision? All right, this is Delta Tango Mike. This is Rain.Daniela. Tell them, what do you mean? And find more of these videos at the YouTube channel, Art is King. Check out my demos and tutorials at Vector Maestros. And check me out, Delta Tango Mike. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Don't make me yawn, man. It's too early. I don't need a nap yet. At Delta Tango Mike, or on LinkedIn and Behance, The Creative Genius. We'll talk to you later. Peace out. Say bye-bye. Tell them bye-bye. Peace out. All right.